Hi, this is Amanda Marino with Overcoming Adversity podcast with my co-host, Miss Sarah Frias.
I was going to say it. Sarah Frias.
Woohoo! This is the next episode, season 3, powered by Next Level Recovery Associates. So Sarah and I were kind of like, what should we talk about today? And we could talk about a million things because I think our conversations are very entertaining. So we were talking about, the word independence came up. And I think that that can open up a whole nother can of worms. But you said you read a reading this morning about independence. And I know you don't remember exactly what it said, but I think it's more what left resonating with you. Like what came up for you with it?
When I read the reading this morning while sitting on my toilet, just being transparent.
Ew, thanks.
I know. Sorry. I don't care.
I mean, it's not just you and I here.
I know. It's okay. I don't care. Everybody goes on the toilet. So that's where I do my morning readings, is that it came up to me as I feel like my whole life I was very dependent on others. I've since really, I feel like through my 30s, especially now being 37, is found independence. But what comes with that from the reading was a balance of the independence. So not thinking that you can do everything, not thinking that you can't ask for help. And I think that's really where I need to also work on things. So when I read that this morning, I was like, because I think there's so much empowerment by saying like, I'm independent. I can do things on my own. I can pay for this. I can make this. I can, do this. But what comes with that can be loneliness, isolation, because everybody needs help with something. So really finding that balance was what I got from the reading this morning. Yeah.
Well, when you say independence and like what you were describing to me as that to me is not independence, that's control. And that's if I don't do everything, things will not be done the right way.
Oh, yeah.
Therefore, I have to do it myself.
Yes.
And I get that. I only relate to a bit. So independence for me, I relate. I was, living off, mom, dudes, whatever, forever. And the greatest gift I've had in the past, almost 20 years is like, no matter with a guy, without whatever, like I'm good.
Yeah.
I own my own home by myself. I own now one with Phil. And that to me, like, means so much to me. So when I hear women or men kind of want to like mooch off somebody, like, I don't even know how that could be fulfilling or rewarding. Like, I want someone that brings something to the table, and I want to bring something to the table.
Yeah.
And I think where it comes with the independence piece for you, like, you can still be independent and still like have that equal say and share and just not have to do it all.
Yeah. What's your idea of like independence?
For me, independence is like, like when I left my marriage, being able to leave, and I had a lot of people I knew that I didn't know that they wanted to leave their marriages, but they reached out to me like upset that they couldn't do it, that they were stuck because of finances. I just don't want to, I feel like to me, that's like a form of control. I want to have control over that. And if I want to do whatever I want to do with my children and I want to be able to do that.
Yeah, regardless.
So, but in independence, so like I know I love a team with like the company. Like I don't want to be Amanda Marino only. Like no, thank you. I think that what gives me greater independence is finding people that are really good at what they do and trusting them to do it. Like I trust you, I trust Yasmin, I trust Dr. Hutman, I trust Blake, like to fully do what, like I called Blake, actually I haven't told you this, but somebody wants a business plan. I'll share more after. I know that that's not my forte. Right away, I'm not going to try and make a business plan. I'm going to have Blake help.
Oh,
right?
I love that.
So I think it's identifying, and I did the call with my mastermind group the other day, and they were all like, you have like people and you have a team. We're by ourselves. And I made me so grateful. And then hearing some of them complain about how they can't find anybody. They've tried this, and this. And I'm like, God, I've had the same people from day one, like how lucky I am. So I feel very fortunate to have people that I think are smarter than me in some areas, are better than me in certain areas. And like, that doesn't take away from me.
Yeah.
That means I'm good at finding good people, right?
Exactly. Yeah, absolutely.
And I know one of our goals right now is to find you a good person.
Yes.
To help alleviate you. And then I think that that's probably hard for you, but we saw what happened when you went away.
Yeah.
You can't go away.
No, I know. I was also like, when I was reading that, I was thinking of a lot of the clients that I work with, whether it's like case management coaching or whatever the case is they're so reliant on other people that I feel like it's something that really makes them feel like overall like depressed, sad, not really motivated.
Like financially reliant or emotionally, like what way reliant?
Definitely financially, but I mean with financial, right? Because say someone else is paying for that, it then is they don't really have any say to a certain degree of what they want to do. You know,
that's tough for me. I can only do that for a short period of time.
Yeah.
I can commit to it for a short period, but I can't do that long.
Yeah. So it's really like I see the struggle of people that have been doing that for so long, more so financially. But then that comes with, because someone else is paying for stuff, the idea of like, okay, I have to get this approved. Am I able to do this? And kind of just like feeling of like sadness, to be honest. Like they're a child, you know?
Yeah. And you can't build repair in our field, in our scope. You can't build repair family relationships when the family's micromanaging with the money and the nickel and diming with like what is what. Like that's a really hard area. That's why like we're having someone like us is great to have, because we can be that middle person and let the family try to rebuild that bridge.
Exactly.
Because it definitely makes the person, the identified client, feel less than.
Yeah.
Or if they're really entitled, maybe they're fine with it.
Yeah.
You know?
It could be both. There's both for sure. And I think that I know that my self-esteem, obviously there was like work like with therapy and you know, I was in a fellowship doing step work, that type of stuff that brought self-esteem. But I really think like my self-esteem has gotten even more and more strong because I've been able to, I know that like if I need to do something, like I can do it without having to ask someone, or if the paying a bill as simple as that has really made me feel good, even though I don't want to pay it. And I'm like, oh my God, here's my money. Me paying it, it's like, makes me feel really good. Totally. So it's kind of like with these clients, I'm trying to do like step-by-step process, because it's not like they're going to be independent financially immediately, you know, where they are able to do what they want.
That wouldn't be probably good for them anyways. It's good to like have it be slow.
Yeah.
You know, slow, steady progress.
Exactly. Yeah. But most people want it immediately.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But wish you a slow, painful recovery. Right?
Yeah. So that's kind of, you know, something I like that you brought up the control thing, because I definitely have for sure a control issue that I am working on. And I think that it, you know, stems from my nursing, knowing that like I was going to get it done the quickest, like that I was going to make sure that the patient got taken care of, that, you know, other people I asked, it would be slow when I want it now.
And that still can be true, but you'll have to get to a place where, you know, it has to be obviously the right person, the right fit, or the right people, but where you'll feel like, okay, even if they mess it up a little bit, I still have to let this go and let this be. And that's like helps you grow as a leader.
Yeah. So how did you get to that spot?
Overwhelm.
Okay.
Yeah, overwhelm. Yeah. Me and Blake did everything for so long. And then the concept of bringing you on for your role was to teach you and have you help us and offset some of that. And one of us to be able to go away and not have one person doing everything.
Yeah.
You know, so I think overwhelmed, but then also just seeing the benefit. Like I said, I was on this hour-long call and these people were reminding me how lucky I am to have all the people I have, that I don't have to edit my videos for social media. I don't have to edit the like, I know this is not my area. Like if I sat here and tried to do a podcast and produce like Janine, like, no, it's not happening.
It wouldn't come out so pretty.
I know the things that you're good at, like, you know, like, yes, you are really good at paperwork, but I feel like you've grown past that. Like, so your skill set now has like, that's almost not the best use of your time anymore.
Yeah.
So I think that's like a soul searching thing for you, you know?
Sure.
Then there's times where I know that like I have to do this right now. Like I even said it on the Zoom with my people. I was like, I have to like scrub the toilets and clean the floors right now because this is my company and this is what I have to do right now. Like I have to suit up and show up. I have to do whatever I have to do right now. And I'm willing to do that.
Yeah.
So I'm willing to jump in and get dirty when I have to, but I also want to be able to have the ability to not.
I'm laughing because it's like, do you need Amanda Marino? And I'm like, yes, I do. I need you. Like when things happen and I'm like, I need Amanda, you know, here comes Amanda, you know, to save the day.
But you've become that in a lot of ways, which like I remember the first moment, and comes from being a secure leader, right? Going around one of the treatment centers we work with that's very high end and them all knowing who you were and coming up and talking to you and not acknowledging me made me really happy.
Oh, I love that.
It made me really proud. I was like, yes, like she's killing it. Like I don't want to be the one. And it was like that a lot for a long time with me and Blake. Even though people knew, they would always come to me.
Yeah.
And it was, and at first it made him feel bad. Then he realized like, his skill set and my skill set, how we complimented one another. But I want that. I want people to go to people on my team that I trust, like go to Yasmin, go to you.
Yeah.
You know, for podcasts, come to Janine. For
Yeah.
a website, go to South Swell. Like I love that I have people that I think do a really good job. And you don't find that overnight. Like
No,
it takes time.
Yeah.
There was a bunch of people we tried before you that did it temporarily and then didn't get past like that part-time kind of role.
Yeah.
And so you went then to executive director, and then now you're a partner,
Managing
partner.
Yay.
Yes, we're signing the actual notary paperwork tomorrow.
Wednesday.
Okay. Oh God, it's only Monday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So what are your goals surrounding that? Like, what are your goals with like the difference between independence and control, like having the confidence in whoever you teach and you chose to do whatever you need done, maybe they're not going to do it as good as you right away, but maybe they'll end up doing it better than you. And I think there's a lot of things now that you do better than me.
Yeah, I like that. No, I mean, it's definitely a fear based thing. I think that also just, like you said, like you've had other people before me that, you know, it didn't work out. And then, you know, obviously we've had interim spaces of people that like it just wasn't the right fit.
But not a lot.
Not a lot. No, I know.
We're really blessed.
Yeah.
Like,
no,
it's
I know
not
that.
a big turnaround.
For sure. So I think that just being able to understand that it takes time. Because kind of like what I just said about like clients, like taking it step by step, you know, it's not going to be an immediate thing. It's not going to be someone comes in and they know everything, you know, so kind of having patience for that and grace and understanding that things take time. And then not everybody's a perfect fit, and that's okay. But like in the end, I think that next level is really important to me. And, you know, obviously the company, just like any company, there's, you know, priorities, and our priorities are our clients. So I think that's where it's also hard for me. And it kind of stems back to the nursing thing is like the business obviously is the business, but like what we do is help clients, you know, that are
what did I always say with Blake? That we were what centered?
team-centered.
Team-centered,
Yeah.
right? So take care of your team, and then your team takes really good care of your clients.
Yes.
And so if we are at a place where like I could tell like the past few weekends, you're kind of like at that place where like you need a break.
Yeah.
And you get to that and it beats you down after a while, and you start to feel like you're going to go crazy. And if you don't take it, that's what I'm saying. Like while we like right now needs to be the time that you should be looking, right? And it like we decided also no more friends. Like we're gonna like find people, you know, we're kind of restructuring. I feel like we've restructured like each year, kind of. So we're restructuring now. We're gonna like we have a new kind of pillar system we're gonna put into place, you know, bring in some people that we know and are very professional, but maybe we don't hang out with.
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely.
I just think there was like there was a meshment with me and behavioral health in my personal life. I feel like
I mean, you've been in it forever.
but I feel like there has been in next level, and then it's hard to have a hard conversation with someone when you've been friends with them for 10 years.
Yeah,
it's hard. You know?
Yeah.
It's awkward. So I think the direction we're going in and the intention, and then also having Blake help with some of that stuff because he knows it so well, right?
Yeah.
And he has a very different way of looking at things than I do and you do. And he still cares very much about next level.
For sure.
You
Absolutely.
know? So I think we're on a really good path for that. And I think soon you'll be able to have your independence and a little bit of faith and freedom. You know, and I just think that's what I really want for you.
Yeah.
But like, I want you to want it.
No, I do want it. For sure. I do want it. I feel like this is like a therapy session for me. That's okay. I don't mind.
No, I mean, I get it. Trust me. It's like, I mean, Blake and I for years just didn't think that if we didn't do it, it was not going to get done right. And there's still some things I don't think anyone could do better than me, but I definitely think there are things that you do better than me. Yeah. And I'm
okay with that.
Completely cool with that.
Do you think that's why like a lot of people that have businesses get burnt out?
Oh yeah. I don't want to be I don't want to do it all. Like I just don't think that I've learned about myself. Like that's why I hired, you know, writers to help me do certain things. That's why I know that's like also maybe sitting down and like hone in on like your favorite things that you do.
Okay.
Along with like what you think is like the best use of your time, like where your favorite and also where you shine. Maybe you don't love those things, but they're really
I'm still
good at them.
Yeah.
Those things and like focusing on those, you know, like and once Blake and I got over that, because we did the tit for tat of like who was doing more. because we both wanted to overdo for each other. But when I realized that, like, I'm not going to write articles, Blake's going to write, I'm not going to come up with the systems behind the scenes. Like, I can create the idea and he's going to make it function. And once we became comfortable in those like roles, like it gave me an ability to breathe. And of course, then when he left, it was like, that scared me, but you had already learned all that stuff, you know?
Yeah.
So I think that it's been pretty seamless transition.
No,
much
for sure.
easier than I would have thought.
Yeah, no, I was a little nervous, but just because you and Blake had been,
I was more sad emotionally than anything.
No,
I wasn't nervous about like, could we not do it? I was just sad because like I knew that it would be different moving forward.
Yeah, of course. No, but he's still around. He's still
actually. I feel like we're all closer again.
Yeah,
like,
no, for
it just takes time with a shift and a change. So shift and change is not bad.
Yes.
Independence versus control. You know, you can be independent AF and let go of a little control.
Yeah, not be a control freak.
Yeah. It's a safety mechanism, and I get it because I know it very well. But it's just like you just feel like, all right, it's gonna get done. I mean, I know there's certain things we've experienced that where you and I were not present, and those are lessons learned, right?
Yeah.
Lessons learned, and what's meant to be will be. Like, I've never gone without. Since I've opened up Next Level, I've never not been able to pay myself, never been not able to pay other people. So I have faith in that. That's
Absolutely.
over 5 years.
And we've helped a lot of people.
Yeah, we helped a lot of people. And we take good care of our people. They want to work with us more.
Yeah.
That's great.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's a really good, topic. And I think that a lot of people go through that and struggle with that. Even like if just working a job and trying to have perfectionism at home, with your children, you've definitely grown with that too. Like,
for sure.
I'm not putting him in daycare. Nope, dropping him off at daycare at 7 a.m.
They don't have a temp. They're going. I guess on that note, because obviously with our podcast, it's not, me and you, just bantering to a certain degree.
We could do that.
I mean, we could.
I think it's a vibe.
No, it is for sure. But I want to help.
You think it's a vibe? It's a vibe.
I want to help someone that maybe has like a private practice or owns their own company, and I think that like, luckily I have you.
Yeah.
But how about if I was on my own doing it? And I think that's like kind of like what I brought up about like, the burnout and doing everything. And, I've had situations where people ask me for suggestions for things. And I'm like, oh, this person will do that. And they're like, oh, well, no, I want to do it, but I want someone to teach me how to do it.
Yeah. I mean, that's to each their own. I was on my own from August of 2019 to January of 2020. And in that short time, I saw that I didn't want to do it alone. I didn't want to be Amanda Empowers or whatever I'd come up with. I knew God, like I had direct hits, like you need a partner that has different skill sets than you. So I went through thinking of like, very established people to like very diverse. And then it just like came that divine hit. It had to be Blake on a run.
Yeah.
I had known him for a decade. I trusted him. I had trust issues after the whole nonprofit thing and that whole thing collapsing from a bad apple ruining it. So I was scared. Even the first year I was scared like with him.
Yeah.
But I just had faith that like, I don't think, for those that are on their own, we know lots of our colleagues and friends that are on their own, you can still be your own thing and not lose control and pull people in for little projects or like a virtual assistant or somebody do a little social media or have someone do a little content, have someone do your podcast. Like, there's little things that are not going to take away from you doing it yourself.
Yeah.
You're just getting it done a little easier.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you're able to, like, for me, to have my creativity and my connection burned out because of things that I am not good at doing behind the scenes is a waste for me. I'm very clear on that.
Yeah, I can see that for sure. And I think I've said that before is like the things that I'm good at sometimes get put on the back burner because I'm doing all the other things, instead of, having someone to assist. So I can definitely see that. And I mean, my goal always, whether, I'm managing partner or working as a nurse, is to help who needs help, And
we will best help people with the right people to do their thing that they're the best at. And that's, I think, what we're fine-tuning right now. Is
absolutely.
Like we talked about, some of those people that are specialized in the body dysmorphia and the eating disorders, people that are good with co-occurring, people that are better with straight substance use disorder, failure to launch, co-parenting and divorce. Like that's something that I so the people, having like that very clear, like this is the case manager overseeing this department.
Yeah.
And these are the coaches. And some of the coaches could fluctuate into different things, but the case manager piece is, I think, like the strong piece.
For sure. Absolutely.
So yeah, we're gonna have to talk about some of those things I forgot to mention.
Yeah, of course. That's okay.
So what's your peeve? Or do you have one more thing before we?
No, it's actually going to, instead of a peeve, I was going to ask you a gratitude thing.
Oh, okay. Let's go on the pause. I am grateful for the little human beings and big human being that my children are.
America is big. Yeah.
My son is, massive, 6'3", 220.
Yeah.
Just who they are at their core, without me having to obviously I have raised them and stuff like that. But like my daughter, first year middle school, getting a hate note, getting called awful names, getting told to kill herself, and her looking at it, being upset for 5 minutes and being like, Mom, I really feel bad for the person that feels this bad about themselves. I'm going to pray for them. Yeah. And I was like, damn, girl, that took me till 42 years old to get that shit. And I still struggle with it. So seeing who they are, their integrity, their kindness, their humor, their personalities, and they're healthy, I just I could pinch myself. They're such amazing people.
They are. I know.
They are.
Even though Merrick's mean to me. But it's like a loving mean,
it's like a brother.
Yeah,
he loves you. He just likes messing with you.
No, I know.
But he always pushes it too far. Just know that about him. Even his old boss said that. I love your son so much, but he always pushes it one time. I'm like, I know.
Yeah, he overdoes it. So you talked about Merrick and Scar. I think that for where I'm at with motherhood, with the 3-year-old and the 1-year-olds, I do have to say they forget things so easily. When they're upset, they just move forward and they're like yesterday we played outside all day and they got so dirty and they didn't care and they just had the best time ever. And that makes me happy. It's not like I have to spend we were going to go to the fair and Amanda was like, no, don't go to the fair. You're going to regret it.
Not in the afternoon on a Saturday.
The last weekend, by the way, at the fair.
You would have been
and all we needed is some pouches, some snacks and some dirt. And they had the best time ever. And I'm like, wow. So it's really not about big show out money. They're happy just playing in the backyard,
Totally. Be like me, go on the cheap nights on the weekdays when nobody's there. That's the way to do it.
Yeah, we were always unprepared. We're like, let's go on a Saturday, the last Saturday of the fair, and let's go at 4:00 in the afternoon.
No, Frankie literally said he waited 2.5 hours and never got in the fair.
Yeah, no. So I'm glad that we stayed, in the backyard.
So why don't you and I try to be like your kids and try to do something fun with nothing and don't give a crap how messy we get and whatever along with it.
Yeah.
Okay. We should
I'm going to do that.
Ourselves a job to do that.
Yeah.
To be more like our children.
Yeah. I'm really trying to inspire. Children are the most inspiring thing. They can get over everything in the drop of a hat. They don't care what anybody thinks about them. And they just are happy doing nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Playing in the mud.
Let's play in the mud, girl.
Yeah. The innocence.
Let's do a mud run. Maybe we could do a mud run.
I can't run more
than... Those aren't really runs.
I'd be walking. There's no run.
You could jog. You could jog.
For a minute.
And we get dirty. All right. Well, you can find us at nextlevelra.com. You can find me at Amanda Marino Official on TikTok and Instagram, and Sarah
Ellen Frias.
Sarah Ellen, ELLEN.
Mm-hmm.
Frias, and you can find her on mine too. And
that's probably where
this is powered by Next Level, and we're grateful that you're here for season 3, the next episode.